Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Annette Nijmeijer and we're here today to have a look at some sewing machines. I can imagine if you've been stuck inside the house during this pandemic and you've been watching a lot of YouTube, you may have stumbled across some awesome YouTubers who have a channel where they show off all the wonderful things they do and you'd like to try it as well. I mean, who doesn't, right? Sewing is amazing. And then you tried it and maybe you got stuck a little. It doesn't matter if you just want a new hobby or, like me, you're forced to make your own clothes because store-bought stuff is never the right size. I'm very tall and my shirts, this long sleeve I made myself. This is store-bought and you can see there's a difference of about 10 centimeters here because I'm a tall person and tall people have very long arms and, regular fashion has regular sizes. Anyway, let's talk about sewing machines. It doesn't matter if you have something beautiful, a second-hand machine, a spiffy new machine, or maybe something your grandmother has in her cupboard and wants to share with you. Any sewing machine will do. And if you like to sew by hand, who's to judge, right? As long as you have fun doing it. Here we are with a regular household sewing machine, and as you can see there is a place to put your thread up top. And there's all these bits and bobs to use, so that's easy. As you can see, if you buy a new spool, it doesn't necessarily have a hole in the top, so let's make one and save ourselves the trouble of maybe something snapping off. And this goes over it just to make sure it can't go off. If I can actually get the thread out. Now the first thing you need is a little bobbin. A bobbin is the thread that goes in here, because a sewing machine always loops the top thread and the bobbin thread around one another to create a stitch. So you'll need a spool for the bobbin. And to wind it, it has actually some instructions on the top of the machine how to do this. Usually it goes back down here, around the thingy, and then it wraps around here, and there's a direction next to the bobbin spool that says which way you should turn in. If you twist it a little bit, it'll be stuck well and good so that when you start sewing it won't slip. This machine you have to put the bobbin to the side, and then to wind it you have to press the foot pedal, which I've put on the table here. And you can see it's really very simple. Now for a simple sewing project, you don't necessarily need a full spool of bobbin thread just to get through, but you might want to have a little extra just to make sure you don't run out. And as you can see, I wasn't very careful with winding the bobbin because I have this little tail down here that's not supposed to be there. Let's see if I've got a pair of scissors. Just to snip that off. So this is the start of the thread on the bobbin, and I'm just going to snip it off as close to here as I can so that it doesn't create a problem for the sewing later on. If you have a Bernina machine, they're practically the same threads for the same bobbin for the machine. They're almost similar in size, but there may be a little difference in height. Now we've tried this with my machine and it will actually eat the plastic bobbins of the Bernette, but it's not advisable to do that, to mix and match your bobbins, because there are differences in size. The Pfaff bobbins are a little flatter, a little less high, and you can get into trouble. Maybe it gets stuck in the machine and you have to bring it to the shop. So if you want to put this in, there's also a little arrow on the machine how to do this. And there's a little cutter just to get rid of the extra thread, but it doesn't seem to work right now. So that's the bobbin threaded. Now this is my own primary sewing machine. It's a very special edition. It says so somewhere on the thingy. Oh, it's right here. It is a Bernina sewing machine, which is a very expensive brand, but it's also very good. And as you can see, the basic layout is the same. We have the thingy for the thread up here. And we also have a little tension winder. You put the bobbin thread around and then you can wind a bobbin over here. But this machine has a separate engine to wind the bobbin. So you don't actually have to use the pedal to wind the bobbin. So it goes around the hook. Then down here we'll follow the arrows. And down here as well. Wind it a couple of times around so it doesn't go anywhere. And then we push this little lever to the left and it starts winding the bobbin without any foot pedal motion. So that's very nice. I'm not sure if you can actually do this while the machine is running. I'm going to stop it now because I'm running out of thread on the top here. I don't want to try that out because I'm not sure it's good for the machine. But there you go, that's a bobbin. A lot of sewing machines are threaded the same way, so your machine may look different and not so spiffy with all the decorations, but you can thread it pretty similarly to this Bernina. There's always somewhere to put your thread and something to secure it into place. Hook behind this hook and then slide in between the tension plates that are in here. And then it comes down behind another hook, then over the top behind this hook here. This one will be moving as you're sewing, and it goes back down. So as you can see, we start at the top, we go down, loop below, loop above, and down again. Now this next part may vary because I have two hooks. You might have only one or none at all. You hook behind this hook from the right, and the one on the needle, and then you thread the needle like so. And there's a little opening in the presser foot where I can pull my thread through, and you're done. Now we have our bobbin right here. Hope you can see it. And the thread comes up and over and it hangs down on the right. Grab your bobbin house, and the opening, hope you can see that, is at the top. So you put that right behind it. And then you can pull that thread into the tension plate right here. So that's a little wiggle and then it's in at the top opening. Turn it around and there's a little lever on the bobbin. You can open that up. Once you hold on to it like this, the bobbin will not fall out. So that's a handy trick to know. That'll help you with putting the thing in the machine. And just slide it right in. Like that. And there you go. Now Bernina have a little knife here, so you can cut the thread that's excess. And you can just start sewing. Or if you prefer, turn the lever on the right hand side, the knob, once towards you, and there's your bobbin thread. If you put the threads to the rear, they won't get in the way. Close up the machine and you're ready to go. So this machine has just presser buttons on the right hand side here. You can press and then it'll change the stitch number to a different number. This is the straight stitch number 1 and that is the default it is set to. So you can just slide your little fabric underneath and put the presser foot down and just start sewing. There is a pedal on the floor I can, use just like a car, and you'll probably get overwhelmed because it goes like super fast and we don't want that. So be gentle with it. Just start softly. Maybe do a stitch at a time if you can get it that softly. It's just like driving a car. You don't want to go too fast, you don't want to run into any pedestrians, and definitely not any fingers. So as you start sewing, after a few stitches, press the reverse and the fabric will go back, securing your stitch in place. If you start and finish with a few back stitches, then your stitching will be secure. You can finish your seam right to here, press the reverse again to tie off the end. At least 3 stitches is recommended, and you're done. Get your foot off the paddle, put the foot of the machine up, pull your work to the side and cut it. That concludes the video for today. Thank you all for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel and let me know if you have any further problems with the sewing machine you currently have. I might be able to help. The plan is to keep releasing videos every second week, so look forward to the next video in 2 weeks. And let me know if there's any particular questions about sewing you'd like to have answered. I'm looking forward to the next one. Let me know what you think and see you then. Bye!